honors to apostles and elders, the Greatmillstone. And just, this is 2nd Ezra 14 and 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. Set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these things. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 44. Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begot us. The Lord hath wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning, such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding and declaring prophecies. Leaders of the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning, meet for the people, wise and eloquent in their instruction, such as found out musical tunes and recited verses in writing. Rich men furbished with ability, living peaceably in their habitations. All these were honored in their generations and were the glory of their times. There be of them that have left a name behind them, that their praises might be reported. And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them. But these were merciful men, whose righteousness have not been forgotten. With their seed shall continually remain in a good inheritance, and their children are within the covenant. Their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall not be blotted out. Their bodies are buried in peace, but their name liveth forevermore. The people will tell of their wisdom, and the congregation will show forth their praise. Enoch pleased the Lord and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations. Noah was found perfect and righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. An everlasting covenant was made with him, that all flesh should perish no more by flood. Abraham was a great father of many people, and glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High, and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Therefore he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men, and the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him an heritage, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes, did he part them. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 21. My son, hast thou sinned? Do so no more, but ask pardon for thy former sins. Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent, for if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. All iniquity is as a two-edged sword, the wounds whereof cannot be healed. To terrify and do wrong will waste riches. Thus the house of proud men shall be made desolate. A prayer out of a poor man's mouth reacheth to the ears of the Most High, and his judgment cometh speedily. He that hateth to be reproved is in the way of sinners, but he that feareth the Most High will repent from his heart. An eloquent man is known far and near, but a man of understanding knoweth when he slippeth. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. The congregation of the wicked is like tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. The way of sinners is made plain with stones, but at the end thereof is the pit of hell. He that keepeth the law of the Most High getteth the understanding thereof, and the perfection of the fear of the Most High is wisdom. He that is not wise will not be taught, but there is a wisdom which multiplieth bitterness. The knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood, and his counsel is like a pure fountain of life. The inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he liveth. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him, and he casteth it behind his back. The talk of a fool is like a burden in the way, but grace shall be found in the lips of the wise. They inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation, and they shall ponder his words in their heart. As is a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool, and the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense. Doctrine unto fools is as fetters on the feet, and like manacles on the right hand. A fool lifteth up his voice with laughter, but a wise man doth scarce smile a little. Learning is unto a wise man as an ornament of gold, and like a bracelet upon his right arm. A foolish man's foot is soon in his neighbor's house, but a man of experience is ashamed of him. A fool will peep in at the door into the house, but he that is well nurtured will stand without. It is the rudeness of a man to hearken at the door, but a wise man will be grieved with the disgrace. The lips of talkers will be telling such things as pertain unto not unto them, but the words of such as have understanding are weighed in the balance. The heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart. When the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. A whisperer defileth his own soul, and is hated wheresoever he dwelleth. Ecclesiasticus 25. In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men: the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together. Three sorts of men my soul hateth, and I am greatly offended at their life: a poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an adulterer that doeth. If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age? Oh, how comely a thing is judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel. And how comely is the wisdom of old men, and understanding and counsel to men of honor. Much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of the Most High is their glory. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding, and that hath not slipped with his tongue, and that hath not served a man more unworthy than himself. Well is him that hath found prudence, and he that speaketh in the ears of them that will hear. Oh, how great is he that findeth wisdom! Yet is there none above him that feareth the Most High. But the love of the Most High passeth all things for illumination. He that holdeth it, whereto shall he be likened? The fear of the Most High is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, and any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Let me read 26 again. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 40. This is at the top. Great travail great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam from the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things. Their imagination of things to come, and the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart. From him that sitteth on a throne of glory unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes, from him that weareth purple and a crown, and unto him that is clothed with the linen frock, wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed his night sleep do change his knowledge. 5 again. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed his night sleep do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awaketh and marveleth that the fear was nothing. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. All things that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again, and that which is of the waters doth return into the sea. All bribery and injustice shall be blotted out, but true dealing shall endure forever. The goods of the unjust shall be dried up like a river, and shall vanish with noise like a great thunder and rain. While he openeth his hands, he shall rejoice. So shall transgressors come to naught. The children of the ungodly shall not bring forth many branches, but are as unclean roots upon a hard rock. The weed growing upon every water and bank of a river shall be pulled up before all grass. Bountifulness is as a most fruitful garden, and mercifulness endureth forever. To labor and to be content with that a man hath is a sweet life, but he that findeth a treasure is above them both. Children and the building of a city continue a man's name, but a blameless wife is counted above them both. Wine and music rejoice the heart, but the love of wisdom is above them both. The pipe and the psaltery make sweet melody, but a pleasant tongue is above them both. Thine eye desireth favor and beauty, but more than both corn while it is green. A friend and companion, a friend and companion never meet amiss, but above both is a wife with her husband. Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Most High is above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Most High, and it needeth not to seek help. The fear of the Most High is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. My son, lead not a beggar's life, For better it is to die than to beg. Wow. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluteth himself with other men's meat. But a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. The water Yahawashi Yahawashi for revealing this to me. The water Yahawashi Yahawashi. Let's see. But just going in the spirit. Just going in the spirit. Like it says, Revelation 1 verse 3, Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Remember reading Romans. Let me go to that. This is Romans chapter 3. What advantage then hath the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them are committed the oracles of the Most High. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Yet let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mayest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. But if our righteousness commend the righteousness of the Most High, what shall we say? Is the Most High unrighteous, who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man. God forbid. For then how shall the Most High judge the world? For if the truth of the Most High have more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? And not rather as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come? Whose damnation is just? What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise, for we have before proved both Jews and Gentiles that they are all under sin. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after the Most High. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known. There is no fear of the Most High before their eyes. Now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before the Most High. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight. For by the law is the law, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. Right? 21. But now the righteousness of the Most High without the law is manifest, being witnessed by the law and the prophets, even the righteousness of the Most High, which is by faith of Yahawashi HaMashiach, unto all and upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Hamashiach Yahawashi, whom the Most High have set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past, through the forbearance of the Most High, to declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be justified, and the justifier of him which believeth in Yahawashi. Salakia. 27. Where is boasting then? It is excluded. By what law of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. He is the power of the Jews only. No, Salakia. Romans 3 verse 29. Is he the power of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles, which is the Israelite foreigners? Yes, of the Gentiles also, seeing it is one power which shall justify the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid, yet we establish the law. Salakia. This is Luke chapter 8. And I'm going to end it there. Luke chapter 8. And it came to pass afterward that he went throughout every city and village, preaching and showing, this is talking about Yahawashi, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of the Most High. And the 12 were with him, and certain women which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils, and Joanna, the wife of Chusa, Herod's steward, and Susanna, and many others, which ministered unto him of their substance. And when much people were gathered together and were come to him out of every city, he spake by a parable. A sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. And some fell upon a rock, and as soon as it was sprung up, it withered away, because it lacked moisture. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up with it and choked it. And another fell on good ground and sprang up and bare fruit 100-fold. And when he had said these things, he cried, He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And his disciples asked him, saying, What might this parable be? And he said, Unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. Now the parable is this: the seed is the word of the Most High. Those by the wayside are they that hear. Then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. They on the rock are they which, when they hear, receive the word with joy, and these have no root, which for a while believe, and in time of temptation fall away. And that which fell among thorns are they which, when they have heard, go forth and are choked with cares and riches and pleasures of this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. But that on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it, and bring forth fruit with patience. 16. No man, when he hath lighted a candle, covereth it with the vessel, or putteth it under a bed, but setteth it on a candlestick, that they which enter in may see the light. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Take heed therefore how ye hear, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he seemeth to have. Then came to him his mother and his brethren, and could not come at him for the press. And it was told him by certain which said, Thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to see thee. And he answered and said unto them, My mother and my brethren are these which hear the word of the Most High and do it. Now it came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples, and said unto them, Let us go over unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth. But as they sailed, he fell asleep. And there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water, and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. And he said unto them, Where is your faith? And they, being afraid, wondered, saying one to another, What manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and water, and they obeyed him. And they arrived at the country of Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee, and when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man which had devils long time, and wear no clothes, neither abode in any house, but in the tombs. When he saw Yahawashi, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, What have I to do with thee, Yahawashi, thou son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. For he hath commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters, And he brake the bands and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. And Yahawashi asked him, saying, What is thy name? And he said, Legion, because many devils were entered into him. And they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. And there was there a herd of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him that he would suffer them to enter into them, and he suffered them. Then went the devils out of the man and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and were choked. When they that fed them saw what was done, they fled and went and told it in the city and in the country. Then they went out to see what was done and came to Yahawashi and found the man out of whom the devils were departed sitting at the feet of Yahawashi, clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. They also which saw it told them by what means he that was possessed of the devils was healed. Then the whole multitude of the country of the Gadarenes round about besought him to depart from them, for they were taken with great fear. And he went up into the ship and returned back again. Now the man out of whom the devils were departed besought him that he might be with him. But Yahawashi sent him away, saying, Return to thine own house, and show how great things the Most High hath done unto thee. And he went his way and published throughout the whole city how great things Yahawashi had done unto him. And it came to pass that when Yahawashi was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was the ruler of the synagogue, and fell down at Yahawashi's feet and besought him that he would come into his house. For he had only one daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay dying. But as he went, the people thronged him. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garments, and immediately her issue of blood stank. And Yahawashi said, Who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And Yahawashi said, Somebody hath touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling, and falling down before him, she declared unto him before all the people for what cause she hath touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole, go in peace. While he yet spake, there cometh one from the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, Thy daughter is dead, trouble not the master. But when Yahawashi heard it, he answered him, saying, Fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. And when he came into the house, he suffered no man to go in, save Peter and James and John, and the father and the mother of the maiden, and all wept and bewailed her. But he said, Weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. And he put them all out and took her by the hand and called, saying, Maid, arise. And her spirit came again, and she arose straightway. And he commanded to give her meat. And her parents were astonished, but he charged them that they should tell no man what was done. Hallelujah, Yahawah, Yahawashi. I want to say Barakatha, Yahawah, Barakatha, Yahawashi, Barakatha, Yahawah, Barakatha, Yahawashi, Barakatha, Yahawah, Barakatha, Yahawashi. Hallelujah, Yahawah, Yahawashi. Hallelujah, Yahawah, Yahawashi. The water, Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Barakatha is in the day, Barakatha. Increase the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to the elect of the nation of Israel. The water, Yahawashi, Barakatha. Keep the elect of the nation of Israel. And Barakatha deliver us in of the hopeful elect. I don't want to write this out. I'm part of the elect of the nation of Israel. Barakatha, keep the spirit on me. And Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, which this is only for the elect of the nation of Israel. The 144,000 and the 1/3. And this is it's this way. Yahawah, and this is Yahawah. Yahawashi in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the pure tongue, or the holy. Yeah, the holy tongue. Lashon means tongue. Kodash. Yeah, holy. Yeah. The water Yahawashi, the water Yahawashi. This is also the Lashon Tahar, the pure tongue. So with that, I'm gonna say peace to like the nation of Israel. Shalom.